Imagine you're a child using the bathroom at a family birthday party. Behind the walls, you can hear cheerful music, you can smell the food that's being cooked, and then your mom walks in. And in that same moment, she's shoving you into the shower as you hear bursts of gunshots throughout your home. This is the opening scene of a book I read during quarantine called American Dirt, which details the journey of a mother and her son as they migrate to America. It led me to reflect and conclude that you do not need to experience this firsthand to understand why these people deserve to be here. I come from a family of immigrants, and while I will never truly understand what it takes to come to America this way, I am here today to advocate and bring awareness for those who cannot. I will be using the book as a tool to further discuss the topic of immigration. I understand that this book is a bit controversial since the author is white. However, I think that she wrote this book for those who choose to not empathize with immigrants or simply cannot empathize with immigrants. And I will solely be using it today as a tool. Now, let's discuss the American dream. In the book, the protagonist Lydia has her own shop. She has a little happy family, and she's overall very content with her life in Mexico. She meets Americans every day in her shop, but she never considers, hey, I bet my life might be better in America, because she's already content with her life in Mexico. De este lado también hay sueños is what countless of Latinos have tried to explain to us Americans. There are, in fact, dreams on the other side of the border, too. These are people with lives, passions, hobbies. If they're fleeing here, it is out of a pure necessity. Now let's consider the geography of North America. I asked my family why they decided to migrate to America, and many of them responded that this was just the first country they arrived at with more opportunities, freedom, and safety. If you were to geographically switch the United States and Canada, hardly anyone would consider migrating all the way to the United States. The book itself doesn't even explicitly mention the United States. Instead, it is referred to as El Norte, which literally translates to the north. Despite the book not mentioning Canada, it does not glorify the United States or play on the idea of American superiority. In many immigrant stories, America is portrayed as a hero or a savior, but we must remember, for these immigrants, they have no other choice. There are some people in our society who believe that America is the greatest country in the world, but they're forgetting that it is our diversity that truly makes us great. These are people who are left with no other options, no other choice. The United States is just the closest place for them to escape. The book itself doesn't even elaborate on Lydia and her son's journey once they do arrive to America, because the purpose of this book is to highlight the nightmares it is to travel as an immigrant to America this way. With that in mind, let's consider what would cause someone to end up leaving everything they've ever known and potentially living like this family here. Things like extreme poverty, lack of resources, violence. This is not an easy decision, and nobody wakes up one day and thinks, I'm going to cross the border today. This is a journey primarily done by foot, and its purpose is to successfully arrive in a new country safely, wherever that may be. For Lydia and her son, America is just the first place they arrive at that offers them salvation from what they're escaping. Once an immigrant does decide to migrate this way, they are then faced with a long list of hurdles that can include things like the natural elements, ICE, violence, scammers, being robbed, being kidnapped, jumping on and off moving trains, and even death. And these are things that they are well aware of when making this decision, but they understand that the chance at a better opportunity in America is well worth whatever they are facing back in their home countries. These are people just looking for positive ways to contribute to our society and make better lives for themselves. For immigrants, fears don't stop at the border either. Thousands of people face this instability. This topic is so complex, it's so much more deeper than just left and right and wrong. Crimes are committed every day in America. Even you commit them as well. When you speed down 95, that's also illegal. But that doesn't make you a bad person. And these people are generally not bad people either. They're here just fighting for a better life in the land of opportunities. They are the field workers, the construction crews, the daycare workers, the janitors, the cleaning ladies. They might even be your neighbor. And none of these people are illegal. Thank you for listening to what I had to say today. I hope I provided you with a new perspective when discussing this topic. Please remember, these are everyday, tax-paying people contributing to our society in more ways that are beneficial than not. But don't take it from me. Read about it in American Dirt. If you are interested in learning more about Lydia and her son's journey to America, a link to the book along with other helpful resources will be down below. Once again, thank you, and please remember, no human being is illegal.